We are officially live and we'll be starting soon. I hope this music isn't licensed. It isn't. I'm making it up. We'll be starting in just a few minutes, folks. Just letting those last. We are officially live and we'll be starting soon. Oh, that's an echo. Oops. All right. Well, Lois, I think we should begin whenever you're ready.
Let's kick this off. Hi, y'all. I am Lois, Operations Director for HFF, and my pronouns are she, her. To give you a visual description, I am a white woman with mid-length dark brown hair. I am currently wearing blue light glasses because, as everyone, we stare at a lot of screens. I am wearing a animal print blouse. I'm in my studio apartment in the Fringe zone, which we will talk about later. Behind me is a couch, a mystical forest print, and that's where I'm coming at you from. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to HFF21. For the first time since 2010, we are all embarking on this journey together. Since the 2019 festival, we have postponed, we've canceled, we've postponed again, and now here we are with a pandemic model that will make art happen, because that's our goal, make art happen. First off, this town hall is being live streamed to YouTube, and recorded on our YouTube channel, Fringe TV, or for our YouTube channel, Fringe TV, which you will find helpful because town halls, workshops, and tons of fun videos from the last 10 years of Fringe can be found there. If you're new, I highly recommend giving that channel a deep dive. It'll really bring you into the festival ethos. All right, today, huge subject, but today we're gonna focus on getting started, planning, budgeting, and of course, to answer the question that I know is on everyone's mind, what does the Hollywood Fringe Festival look like during a global pandemic? And I promise we'll get through all of it, and we will have a Q&A to follow for anything that we didn't get to. Things to note right off the bat. If you walk away from this town hall with two things, these are the things to walk away with. Fringe support. It is there on the site. It's a supportal is what we call it. So support portal, support.hollywoodfringe.org. It's an amazing tool and it covers absolutely everything and has been updated with all of the new information that applies to this year's festival. The other thing is support@hollywoodfringe.org. That is your new best pal. Dave is the wonderful human behind the screen who has answers to all of your questions. All right, today we also have several Fringe staffers who are going to be going through information. Can everyone give a wave? And with that, I'm going to toss it over to one of them. Ellen, will you go through some housekeeping?
Absolutely, you guys. I'm so excited to be here, folks, with everybody in this Zoom space and then also on YouTube. I'm Ellen. I'm our programs director here at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. My pronouns are she and her. And I am in my bedroom and I am in a space. I have two pictures of Los Angeles at sunset. I didn't notice that until today. And I am a white woman wearing a green dress with puffy sleeves. I have bangs and also a little bit of purple lipstick going on today. So that's my introduction. I'm so excited for HFF21. This is just an insane time, and I'm so excited to be here with y'all and getting ready to go back into the swing of things. So please intro yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from and what show you're bringing to HFF, as well as your pronouns and your name. Also, we're going to drop some information on how to rename yourself. Please rename yourself in the Zoom room with your first name and your pronouns. You can also add a little star there if you've done the Fringe before so that people know that's going on. All right, friends, couple of ground rules and some housekeeping. Please keep your camera on when you can. It's so great to see your faces. That being said, if you have access needs or are uncomfortable, please feel free to do what's right for you. Please make sure to keep your Zoom link private. If you want to let someone into the Zoom room, feel free to message Fringe staff to ask permission to share this link. This is live on YouTube, so people will be able to see us no matter what. Woo, woo, woo. All aspects of the Hollywood Fringe Code of Conduct apply to our virtual spaces. Please see support.hollywoodfringe.org to read all about our policies in detail, but I know that that is also being dropped in the chat right now as well. Keep yourself muted until you're asked to speak during the Q&A session and during the town hall itself. But please feel free to use the chat at any time in case you need anything clarified in the moment, and we'll get to it as we can. But we're going to have a robust section at the end of this, about an hour, to go through all of your questions and things after we've gone through the kind of like gist of what we're trying to get through today. So just letting you all know that. Have fun. Know we're all learning how to virtually fringe alongside of you. Technical issues are bound to happen. They did already today. We are learning all of this at the same pace. If you need any support on Zoom, please feel free to message me or another Fringe staffer, and we'll be able to help you out today. We'll also be doing so many trainings throughout the next couple of months about how to use these digital spaces, how we've experienced that, but also how experts that aren't Fringe staffers who are learning alongside you have. So we'll bring in people who know more information than we do to provide some of that, that training and everything. This is a supportive space, so please feel free to eat some breakfast, drink tea or coffee, or a cocktail if you're really ready for it, and get up frequently to do your thing. Any bio needs, anything like that, it's all up to you. Did I miss anything, dear Lois? All right, I'm going to toss it back over to you.
All right. Hi again, y'all. Okay, so what is Fringe? A Fringe history. Let's start there, right? In the city of Edinburgh in 1947, 8 theater groups showed up uninvited, wanting to perform at a newly formed Edinburgh International Festival, a festival created to celebrate and enrich European culture life after World War II. These performers, though uninvited, staged their work anyway on the fringe of the festival. And so Fringe was born. Everyone just showed up, and it's exactly what all of you are doing today. So we're already a Fringe. It spread to new cities, new countries. It's all over the world, and it's incredible. I highly recommend you giving Fringe as a whole a deep dive. It's a really amazing community and family that we're lucky to be a part of. So HFF opened in 2010 and immediately became one of the largest Fringe festivals in the US. Why? Because theater is alive and well in Hollywood. It is, in fact, a theater town. All right. So with Hollywood Fringe, what is it exactly? It's a performing arts festival. That's exactly what that sounds like, right? It's not a battle of the bands or a film festival. We are a performing arts festival. It is open access. If you have a story to share, we provide the platform for you to do that. It is community centered. This is huge. If you've been a part of the festival before, you understand this. If you're new, welcome to it. It's community. It's about each other, and it's about supporting each other. And you're going to hear us talk about that a lot today. It's also an opportunity to try experimental work and new ideas. It's freedom to fail, and that exists here because there's less financial risk than a standalone production. It's an opportunity to refine existing work. It's an opportunity to build audiences. Someone comes to Fringe to see a friend's show and then discovers hundreds more. I think at the end of the day, it's an opportunity with all of those things. What it isn't, it's not curated. Like we said before, the gates are wide open. We will never jury art that happens at the festival. It is also not a place to send your play for us to produce, though in the Fringe community, you can find that team. But we produce a platform, not individual shows. It is not an aesthetic. It's a model, again, a platform, a space to share stories. It doesn't have to be weird or fringy. Because of that, the Fringe is merely, again, on the fringe of a festival. It can be absolutely anything that you want to bring to the table. It is not a place for jerks. This has been the very simple rule of Fringe since it first began in 2010. No jerks allowed. Since then, we have expanded on what jerks means. So we have a code of conduct, and I'm going to trail off into a bit of a code of conduct spiel because it is vitally important to the ethos of Fringe. It's the most important part of your participant contract. If it is not followed, your journey with Fringe will end because it matters. It's not asking for much. Be respectful, be thoughtful. This collective agreement allows for a safe community, and the safe community allows for artistic risk, which is why we all do Fringe. We have zero tolerance policy for anything harmful toward our community members, and have made calls to ban producers from continuing their work due to their behavior. We hope to never do that. We never want to do that, but we will if it keeps our community safe. If you do have a problem, if you are being harmed in any way, we have an email, conduct@hollywoodfringe.org. Only senior staff members of the Fringe will ever see these emails. You can report something and still keep your name anonymous to the person who harmed you, as we work with you to come up with the best conclusion on how to handle the situation. Okay, back to that list. What is Fringe? What is not Fringe? Here's the really cool thing. And I discovered this while going through the town hall that Ben Hill normally presents. Our festival director is traveling, so unable to attend today. But looking through his list of what is Fringe not, that list hasn't changed. It's been spoken time and time and time again before COVID, before each and every one of us knew the exact range of our normal temperature. But it hasn't changed. The heart of the Fringe is the exact same this year as it was in every year. I would argue it's more present this year because we have the opportunity to truly take an artistic risk, to truly support each other in something that is new for everyone, and support our venues, our audiences, and again, our community. With that, we have a lot of announcements. Ellen, can you take it from there?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to go over what's coming up in the next couple of months, as well as going over some really important dates to keep in your calendar. So this is a great point to mention. It's always great to take notes at a town hall. That being said, this is being recorded and it will be available to you if you want to go back and get anything later in the game. And you can also send it to your production team if you want to do that later on. So feel free to take notes, but know that it will all be here. And even more importantly, it all gets emailed to you. We really here at Fringe want to make sure that you are getting up-to-date information as a participant. And by signing up for our email list, you are doing that. As a registered participant, you're on it. Weirdly enough, if you're signed up and you're like, I'm not getting these emails, where are they going? It's probably because you need to add us to your contacts. If you go into your little Gmail or whatever you use, add info@hollywoodfringe.org to your contacts and we'll start showing up elsewhere. We'll be in your regular inbox, not those promotions or whatever Google wants to call us, you know. So please make sure that you add us to your contacts so that you can see all the important information that'll be coming out between now and August. Because we try not to email you too much. We won't be sending you emails daily. We try to do once, maybe twice a week if we're having a busy time, you know, and then during the festival, obviously a little bit more. But we're not going to overwhelm you with content. We're just going to send you the important stuff and remind you about it so that you're on top of it. Okay, that also reminds me about social media. Our communications director is on the call, and I want to shout out Bella Luna, who runs an amazing social program on all of our platforms. Woo, woo, woo! You can find us at Hollywood Fringe, and we should start using our handy dandy hashtag. Hashtag HFF21. It'll be a way for us to track all of the marketing that happens throughout the festival, to be able to repost things. So please always use that hashtag when possible. It's also something we'll use for our Twitter chats, which we'll talk about later on today. Okay, announcements about what's happening right now. Our scholarships program is accepting applications until Monday, May 3rd at 11:59 p.m. You can find out more about our scholarships program at hollywoodfringe.org/scholarships, one of the most important programs and something that's near and dear to my heart. And please take a look at that link, which is being dropped in the chat right now. We also have a Meet the Staff event that's coming up this coming Wednesday, May 5th from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. And that'll be a chance for you to really get to know some of our staff members, who to go to with questions, and also just to ask questions that don't get answered today. Start showing up and we're here for you. We want to make sure that we're as open access to you as possible. So before we start those office hours, we wanted to have a few chances for you to get to know us and get to know the Fringe platform. And last but certainly not least, we will have a venue panel announcement and an additional town hall that we've decided to add. Both of those will be in late May, early June, for us to be able to go over some of the special things that are coming up this year. We know that we have more details to go over than ever. So know that we're adding some extra dates into that event schedule to make sure that that is all squared away. We'll talk more about what is going to be covered there later on in the event. Alrighty. This is where I'm going to ask you to write down these dates because these are the important ones. Registration opens May 1st. That's today. So registration is officially open. That means that you can register your project all the way up through payment. We're going to go over how to do that in this town hall itself. So that's really exciting. We do not have a registration deadline this year because we wanted to make sure that people were able to register for as many, like, make a decision later in the game, basically, because it's just such a year where you're going to have a lot of conversation with your teams about how to fringe safely, what it means for you and your team, how you want to do this. So there's no registration deadline. That being said, a really important date to keep in mind is July 15th, because July 15th is the day that Hollywood Fringe Festival tickets go on sale. If you register after that, you're going to have a harder time because you're not going to have the same amount of time for your tickets to go out to be on sale and things like that. So the earlier the better. Before that date, July 15th, that's an important day. Tickets go on sale. They'll be on sale until until the end of our festival, obviously, or until your show date. But this is what's happening next. Our previews will happen August 5th through the 10th. That's a great opportunity for you to get those friends in, get those reviews in, get people to come and give you those marketing pieces to market your show during the festival run itself. It's also a time to work out some of those technical issues that you had during your tech and make sure that you have the best show possible to present. All right, August 11th is our opening night party. That is a night with no shows. It's actually it's a Wednesday evening. We all come together this year digitally to celebrate the work that you are all doing and the journey you're all taking together. We're going to have a really great interactive event platform that we're going to be using this year that we're still working out the details on, but to be announced in a newsletter coming to your inbox soon. But we will have that community building space on that opening night party, and we still want you to be a part of it. So no shows will be scheduled on that night so we can celebrate as a community. And then shows between August 12th to the 29th, the official Hollywood Fringe Festival 2021. And we are going to be just like clicking between shows all day during that festival run. I'm so excited. And it's just going to be such an exciting time to be able to have these shows. The 29th is our digital awards and closing night party. This will be another chance for us to celebrate as a community and also to go over and honor your shows. So we'll be having that digital award ceremony also on a platform, and we're working out some details on what that's going to look like. And again, that will be announced in a town hall coming up. And we also have a workshop all about like how to apply to awards, how to like make all of these things fit within your schedule. And in July, we're going to have a festival expectations panel from the Fringe perspective with all these details as well. So all of this information will be covered again, but these are the important dates to stick out in your mind. Whew. Okay, I think I've gotten through it, Lois. Can you tell me what Fringe will look like this year?
I absolutely can, Ellen. And I just want to point out, in good news, we are running only 3 minutes behind schedule. So by the end of this, we will only be about 30 minutes behind schedule. And by the time Fringe happens, all of us will be exactly on schedule. That is the game, right? Okay, so what will Fringe look like this year? An overview. The Fringe is looking towards a digitally driven fest. What the heck does that mean? Okay, it means you can be in a venue, registration type 1, or at home, or in someone's backyard, on Zoom, or in your friend's sister's living room. This is registration type 2. Basically, this one is whatever feels comfortable and safest for you and right for your project. This registration type can take place from any city, state, or country. Last performance option is a socially distanced, COVID-safe, site-specific work, registration type 3. And yes, the names of these registration types are a lot, but they're the most descriptive possible. We won't have to speak these after you're registered. All right, and then workshops is back this year. These are educational workshops, not getting a show on its feet, but a true educational experience. We'll go into a lot more depth on each of these or each of these registration types later in the town hall. So let's talk about the festival. The live stream model, it does provide us with an amazing opportunity to push the boundaries of what theater is, to affect audiences beyond a normal scope, to fill houses well beyond any currently built theater capacity. It's a chance to take artistic risk and grow because of it, and do so alongside a supportive community that will catch you when you fall, share knowledge, and celebrate your work. Live stream will be like any live performance. There will be hiccups, and that's okay. Just like live theater, the more you prepare, the smoother it will go. If you don't feel comfortable running a specific aspect of your show, you learn, or you bring in someone who does. With this, working with a venue that covers your live stream aspect, that is going to likely be the perfect fit for you. If you don't feel comfortable, or if you don't want to deal with the tech side of things, if you want to show up, perform your art, and leave, that venue is going to be a great option. You can choose to live stream from any platform. Though in a venue, you might have to work with a specific platform that they are using. But this opens up, again, the point of Fringe, which is artistic choice and risk. And you'll loop into the Fringe experience by just having a link. We will have all of our usual social, promotional, educational, and programming leading up to the Fringe to set you up for success. We will even have a digital Fringe Central. For the vets in the room, this isn't 2018. Even in a pandemic, we have a Fringe Central. More on that to come, but no, it's not going to be a Zoom room. There will be a lot more to it, but it'll be a chance to digitally celebrate with your artistic community, to be celebrated by your audience, and to promote your show on a regular basis. It's going to be the place to be together in Fringe. Okay, another big question, and this likely is the biggest. To address the question on everyone's mind, is there a chance we will pivot to a digital model, meaning live stream and in person, like audience in your theaters? Yes, there is an absolute chance. If it becomes clear that we can safely and legally do so, we will make that call a little further down the line, but keep you informed along the way. We also want to see live theater back in full swing, but our large festival and the safety of our community is the most important thing to us. So let's live in the world of the what ifs. And if we go hybrid, what does that mean for your show? There will be no extra charge to your show. If you are registered in a Hollywood Fringe venue, same price. Your performance, however, must take place in the Fringe zone to have an in-person audience. So just like in past Fringe years, that Fringe zone is where Fringe takes place. In the event we pivot to a hybrid model, your show would have to take place in that zone. You can't live stream from Colorado and have audiences under that registration type, if that makes sense. So if you are like, you know what, I'm going to try this digital thing, but boy, do I hope that there's going to be in person, the most seamless transition possible is going to be in that HFF venue. Okay, with that, you choose your own adventure if we make this pivot. The gates are wide open. You can produce the live stream show that you had prepped as planned. You can completely stick to that, or you can add in-person shows as well, or do them simultaneously, depending on what your venue has planned for their space. You can also just do in-person. Again, another reason we are pushing that registration deadline or not having one is that you can decide, you know, things open up. We're in a very different world. Come July 1st, you can be like, you know what, I am going to do Fringe. And you hop in and you can do a fully in-person experience, given all of the guidelines that will still be in place. Again, we are not making this decision at this time, but we know that knowing what could happen is a part of your decision process as well. So at this time, please do understand that no indoor in-person audience will be allowed to be a part of the festival. And with all of that, Stina, I would love to have you talk about COVID safety.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Stina Peterson. My pronouns are she, her. I am the Fringe Volunteer Director and also this year the Audience Services Director. I am a approaching 40 white woman with shoulder length, wavy light brown hair, and I am sitting in my kitchen, and behind me you can see kind of off-white walls with a bunch of clutter and dishes and my sink and my coffee maker and spices and a map on the wall and other random things on the wall. And so as a part of the Audience Services Director position that I'm in this year, I have put together the COVID safety plan for Fringe. And so you, I think we'll find that linked in the chat, yes. And I'm just gonna go over a couple points. Just to reiterate, as Lois already said, at this point, we are a live stream only, no live audiences festival, with the exception of registration type 3, which is COVID safe, socially distant outdoor theater. We know that things are changing rapidly. So we're moving forward with this plan because we are 100% confident that this can happen even if the COVID situation worsens in LA County and things become more restrictive again. So the COVID safety pack includes links to the health orders that you will need to follow for registration types 1 and 2. It's also a living document. And so as things change and new guidance becomes available, it will be updated. So check back on it. And we also want to encourage you to work with those that you trust to respect your boundaries and their own boundaries. The no jerks allowed motto of Fringe, that includes not being a jerk to yourself. Be understanding of what you're comfortable with and honor that for yourself. And then also in the COVID safety pack, there are some helpful resources. If you want to do a kind of a deep dive into further COVID education, there are some links there, some free, some that cost money, but you can check those out if you want to learn more about COVID safety. And with that, I will toss it back to Lois.
Do you mind if I make a quick little COVID safety note really quick, guys? Hi, Ellen again. I just wanted to reiterate what these wonderful people have been saying and also let you know that we are taking these things a day at a time. We're doing meetings super regularly with all of our partners and everybody to make the safest decision possible. That being said, in any of the models that we end up going with, if we do pivot, there will be that safe option if you're in a venue to still live stream. If you're like, I don't want audience, that is something that you need to talk about with your venue, and they will work with you to make sure that you have the experience that makes you and your cast and everybody around you feel safe. And the same thing from home. If you're doing it from home, I'm reiterating, work with people that you trust. It is on the primary producer to make sure that you have your COVID safety plan all together. It is on you to make sure that everybody is on the same page and that everybody feels comfortable in what everything is, in what you're doing. It is going to be in August. We will likely be living in a very different world in August. That being said, we are very aware of the fact that it could be just like March of last year. We have contingency plans for all of this, and we recommend that every production also has their own contingency plans and is communicating those with anyone that they partner with, because it's so important for us to be extremely clear with each other this year and make sure that everybody is having the experience that is necessary. And that's why we're always going to keep this digital component. It is important for full accessibility for us to keep that here at the Fringe. And I just wanted to reiterate that before we moved on.
Thank you, Ellen. Yes, 100%. I can tell you that each and every staff member currently has 7 or 8 tabs open on our computers. COVID, 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 COVID. Like, we all are learning a lot about health and safety, and we're going to make sure you get all of the information along the way. Okay, let's hop back into arts and festival. Why produce at the Fringe? So we kind of have an idea, ideally, what Fringe is. So why bring your show to Fringe? Community, 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 community. Again, we're going to keep saying it. If it was a drinking game, it would be dangerous. We're going to say it that often. You are not alone. You have teachers, students, cheerleaders, and ultimately family who are traveling alongside you. And if you begin your Fringe adventure with that in mind, you will likely have them traveling with you for many years to come. It's a producer's training ground. The entire timeline of events and guides provided by the Fringe is to help you through the process from A to Z. It's cheaper. Because of the nature of the multitude of artists participating, venues are able to offer competitive pricing. Technical producers are offering discounts, and there's a camaraderie among participants that follows along these lines. You're able to ask favors. Hey, if I design your postcard, will you run my box office? It's, again, that camaraderie that really plays into it being a cheaper experience. Reviews, accolades, even awards are available to you by participating. Again, awards are going to come much later, but there are these opportunities to build your show in that regard. It's to take your show to the next level, meet the people who are going to help push your artistic agenda to that next level. So many theater companies have been made because of Fringe. You get to know your network and people who see artistic vision in the same way. And it goes well beyond our August festival, or normally our June festival. The Fringe model creates shared risk. It's not a single pot of money coming from one place to produce a single event. It is about support, development, accessibility, and everyone involved, including artists, venues, audience, and funders investing together in a creative platform and delivering a unique experience that you all can be a part of. The festival promotes the whole. Yes, and I want to be clear, you will still need to market your own show and actively participate in your own success. So please don't think that you don't, but we use all of the tools in our collective Fringe staff belts to push the festival out to the world this year. For the first time ever, our market is no longer just Los Angeles, it's the world. And after 11 years, we have some pretty cool tools in our belt. Speaking of tools, the participant packet is going to be your tool. This long and detailed packet is your guide through Fringe. It includes press, marketing tips, marketing opportunities, even discounts with outside organizations and businesses. It's usually about many pages long, and it's a valuable resource that is kind of, we're getting into our tech week. This is our participant week. We're already participant packet week. We're already working on it, and that's going to be dropped later this month. All right, with that, so many more things that help you along the process, and a lot of them are events. Alex, can you walk us through our events plan for this year?
Yes, thank you, Lois. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Prim. I'm the events director with the Hollywood Fringe Festival. My pronouns are he, him. Brief description, I have dark brown hair, a nose ring. I'm wearing a pink shirt. And behind me is this abstract, multicolored pink, red, modern art looking piece. So I am the events director. So obviously events in the last 2 years have changed a ton. So this year we're focusing mainly on a digital-led event world, but we're still bringing back all the programs that you know and love. For example, this year we will have 7 workshops and town halls before the start of the festival to guide you in this new theatrical world that we're living in. In addition to that, we're also bringing back all of our networking events, including office hours. We're bringing back office hours in a digital space. Office hours is going to start in June, and it's going to be every other Wednesday. In addition, we're adding a new event all about casting. So this event is going to be a chance for directors to pitch their shows and try and find actors from all around the world. Literally any actor can apply to your show if it is going to be a digital show. So that's really cool. We're going to have 2 of those. Finally, when the festival starts, we are going to have our digital festival events. So we're bringing back Runway, which I know is a lot of people's favorite, myself included, in a digital space. We're going to have a digital opening night party and a digital awards/closing ceremony. That's kind of the events rundown. Again, everything is flexible and everything we're continuously working on. Finally, this Wednesday, we're going to be having the Hollywood Fringe Festival Meet the Staff networking event. So that's going to be this Wednesday, May 5th from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. And that's going to be a chance for all of you to ask any of us questions or just get to know us. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Bella to talk about promotional opportunities.
All right, since Bella is in the chat, I'm going to intro that for her. So cabaret has always been one of my personal favorite things at Fringe. It's how I've always gotten to experience the festival because I've normally been working, and that's how I get to see snippets of everyone's show. It is a Hollywood Fringe buffet of sorts. You look at the cabaret, you decide, what piece stands out to you, and then you go see that show. So with that, Bella has a wonderful little video. Can we hit play?
Hey everybody, this is Bella Luna, and I am thrilled to announce that Virtual Fringe Cabaret will be returning for HFF21. Here's a taste of what you might have missed last time. Join your fellow Fringers and Hollywood Fringe staff for YouTube premiere watch parties at 8 p.m. on June 1st and 22nd and July 6th and 27th. Applications are open now and the first submission deadline is coming up on May 25th. I can't wait to see what you have to share with us. Happy Fringing!
Oh man, y'all, I love Cabaret too. I think it's so special and a great way for you guys to be able to preview any shows that are coming up and see what you want to see and also promote your show, especially with these digital Fringe cabarets. They also exist on our YouTube channel and they're a great opportunity for promotion. All right, I'm going to talk about Twitter chats really quickly. Has anybody here ever participated in one? They are so fun. So our Twitter chats are going to be happening this year on Fridays from 12 to 1. So that great lunch break time for any of you who work like me during the week. And it'll be on June 4th, June 18th, and July 2nd. You'll basically be in a Q&A with your fellow Fringers using the hashtag HFF21 on Twitter. We have this like raucous chat. I always end up throwing in GIFs that I answer everything with a GIF because I think that I can't answer it in the amount of words that is possible. And it's so fun. We get to pass tips and tricks, and we've been doing this for so long. Even in in-person space, we've done these. So it's really a great way for us to all get to know each other. Please come start making those friendships there. All right, Discord. The official Hollywood Fringe Discord server is new and improved and ready for you. Discord is a free text, voice, and video chat app where we can congregate, meet up with fellow Fringers, and socialize. Joining is free and easy. Check the chat. There's a link to join our Discord. And it's basically this amazing space where we have different channels where you can talk about things that are relevant to your show. It'll function much like a Facebook group or another place like that. And it's great. You can have it on your phone. You can have it on your desktop. You can have it anywhere. People use it to run their shows nowadays. It's like it was originally made for gamers, and I think theater has officially taken it over. With that, I'm going to start to talk about something else. I'm going to pivot. I make a hard pivot right now into a different conversation. I'm going to talk about our fundraisers. So we are a nonprofit organization here at Fringe. We don't have a full-time staff, nor do we have a physical office. We do run a pretty tight ship and make ends meet in a pretty nifty way, if I do say so myself, but nonetheless, we're a little bit scraping by every year. After every festival, 100% of ticket sales go back to you, our artists. That's $3.4 million since 2010, which I love saying. I think it's the coolest fact ever. To offset producing costs of this mega festival, we typically do a spring fundraiser. But because this year is so odd, we've decided to make this fundraiser, ooh, words today, Ellen, make this fundraiser affect everyone. Our artists, our venues, and the Fringe itself. How the heck do we do that? Do you think we know how to do that, Lois?
We've sure been working on it, Ellen. I would love to hear you talk about it.
All right, I'll jump in. This year, we saw our venues, our participants, and our Hollywood hurting. And we wanted to give back, and we wanted to make sure that people were able to take risks during this digital festival. It's a new space, and we want to make sure that you're financially able to recoup some of those costs. So this year we're going to fundraise for artist stipends for artists participating in Hollywood Fringe venues during the 2021 festival. Basically how this is going to work. We've set a fundraising goal of only $7,250. Not that much, right? This amount will account for 10 artist stipends, which is nuts. For every $725 we raise after that, we'll add another one until it's a big mega program and people get some money. These stipends will be available in a lottery a few weeks after the fundraiser ends. So they will be available to anyone and have no strings attached as long as you are participating in the 2021 Fest from a venue and you're a Los Angeles County resident. We're so excited to announce this program and run the fundraiser in just under 2 weeks about, and or a little bit over maybe. And we'll get that fundraising party started, which means we'll need your help. We're gonna need your help to share that campaign and make sure that everybody is on this, able to see as many shows this year, have as many artistic opportunities. We basically need you to help us promote this so that we can give y'all money. So that's where we're at. And I just wanted to preview that program because it's been something that's been really deeply, especially on Lois in my mind. We run a lot of the Fringe development side. And so we were just really talking a lot about how it is important this year that anything we fundraise for goes directly back to you, because we are going to continue on for 2022, 2023, and we want to make sure that our community is strong enough to keep doing that too and continue producing with us. More info coming to your inboxes. Another reason you should definitely sign up for those Hollywood Fringe emails. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Lois to tell us how the heck is Fringe registration going to work this year?
Well, I'm going to tell you. And I got to be honest, y'all, like we've been talking about, all of us are doing something new. I have never once talked this much at a Hollywood Fringe event in the 10 years I've been a part of the festival. So my apologies. It's a brave new world for everyone. All right, so let's talk registration. Buckle up. Like I said, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to be talking a lot right now, specifically. Let's chat through those registration types first and foremost. Is it admittedly a wee bit complicated? Certainly more so than in years past. The world in this pandemic is complicated, so these registration types were built to provide the best option possible for everyone. All right, so step one, registration type 1, live stream from an official HFF venue in the Fringe zone is set at $175. First question, what is the Fringe zone? I'm going to tell you. So the Fringe zone, and this is hilarious to anyone who knows me at all because I'm not good with directions. So I looked this up. This is on our site. It's real, I promise. The northern boundary is Franklin Avenue, running along the bottom of the Hollywood Hills and a block from Hollywood Boulevard. Normandy Avenue acts as our eastern boundary. Rosewood Avenue, just 2 blocks south of Melrose, is the southern boundary of the festival. And the western boundary is Gardner Street. And again, that is all on the festival, because God help us all, I've just given out directions. So back to the HFF venue. This registration type is for those looking to book a Fringe venue in that zone previously discussed. Venues currently operating under this category can be found on the venues tab on our website. More may be added over time, but all of these venues are currently involved in this year's Fringe. Venues will work a little differently this year. Some have full live stream setups, some have space rentals, and some have everything in between. Make sure you ask these questions so you find the exact right fit for you and your show. And you can contact these venues via the website. Part of that registration process is allowing some of those questions to get automatically put in. That way you can send them to several venues. Venues are not run by Fringe. They are independent businesses that you will have your own relationship with. More community. These venues are wonderful and have been working with us for months because they truly are invested in our artist community and they can't wait to welcome you back to their stages. And I'm quite certain we have several on our call currently. Any venues want to say hello? All right.
During our Q&A, maybe they can also make a shout out. I'll message them right now.
Perfect. Yeah, because like I said, they really have been working with us for months during this process, and they're so wonderful. We're very lucky to have the venues that we have. Okay, type 2, live stream from any other location. This can be home, a venue outside of the Fringe zone, etc. This is listed at $225. So you can participate in this registration type from anywhere in the world. You can book a venue to live stream outside of the Fringe zone. You can live stream from your home, your backyard, on Zoom with people from all over the world, or with permitting and the right permissions, any location you wish. The world is your stage under this registration type. You can book as many shows as you want during the festival under this registration type, but we recommend that you consider your audience base and book as many shows as you think you can market to. As a festival, we strongly recommend between 3 and 6 because that is proven to be a golden window for productions. This registration type is for live stream only. And here we're going to talk about, again, with those what ifs, no in-person audience will be allowed at this time or in the event HFF is able to safely pivot to a hybrid in-person audience model. And I think that's something we just have to know right from the get-go. This, no matter where you are, live stream only. Registration type 3, COVID safe, socially distant outdoor theater. Yeah, these names are so long, but the detail I think helps. So at least you're very clear on which registration type you will fit into. So with this one, this is a little bit more outside the box, or outside the Zoom box, if you will. From window display theater to outdoor COVID safe immersive work, this category is for those looking to have an audience present in a site-specific outdoor setting. That's what really separates this category, yeah? No in-person, but this is outdoor audience. This registration type will take place in the Fringe zone. It absolutely must, and requires proper permitting and an approved safety plan following city, county guidelines for COVID safety. To better explain, this registration type is designed for shows performing from a participant-led location for their specific show. This is not an outdoor venue that hosts multiple shows. All right, type 4. Now, this is not a performance category, but it's workshops, educational experiences. This is $50. These workshops must be live streamed. And this is new this year, and I'm super excited about it. Can take place anytime between June 1st and August 29th. We are aware that there's a learning curve this year, that there's so many different things you can do within this festival model. And we want to open up the chance for education and learning because we have so many experts in our community. So this is a chance for people to come and share their knowledge and their experience and also make some money. These are not like HFF run events that are free or pay what you can. You can charge ticket prices on these. To schedule outside of the window of the festival, just email support@hollywoodfringe.org after registering, and we'll get that all set up for you. Also, just like in years past, you can host a free workshop if you're already registered as a Fringe participant doing a show. So you can absolutely take advantage of that, register for free, and still charge ticket prices. You may have noticed, yes, cost is cheaper across the board. We know how difficult this year has been, just like Ellen talked about with the artist fundraiser. We have been racking our brains over the last year of hiatus. How can we support our community? Because at the end of the day, that is what we do. We are a platform to support artists and to uplift artists. And we felt a great responsibility to do that in every way possible. So part of that is, yes, registration prices are cut across the board. Okay, workflow. Now I'm going to talk through something that's also listed on the Fringe supportal, all about registration. Link being dropped in the chat now. But some people, I know it's easier to hear it. I'm one of those people. So I'm going to talk it at you. But while you're registering, it'll all be in the registration process as well, where you can read it. Okay, all participants, add information on your show and pick a category at hollywoodfringe.org/add_project. Okay, let's talk through a couple things there. So category. This is where you decide where your show will fit best. It's also how it will be marketed and the category that you'll be considered for community awards under. You might fit into multiple categories. In fact, you likely will. Just choose your own adventure there, what you think fits best and how you want to focus your experience. Your project page. This is your digital Fringe home. Think of this as your own personal website, your own social media. Ultimately, it's also your site listing. So that's your home base, and get to know it like you would at your Facebook or your Twitter. You can add images there. You can add videos. You can list your team, your cast, all of their info. You can add your press. Reviews will be linked here. I would definitely just spend some time really decking it out and getting to know it. And it can also be updated as you go. Okay. Now we're going to answer. Then you answer some questions about your show and your participation. That's the next step in registration. It's all very, very clear in there, I promise. You just answer some questions and tag your project. This is how people will search for you. It's just like social media. Like we use hashtag HFF21 to brand the festival. It's the same thing here. You can hashtag comedy, hashtag queer, hashtag best show ever. You can use hashtags that you see others using or make up your own. Apply to event venues if you plan on streaming from an official HFF venue, right? This is where it does get a little trickier. If you are going to perform in an HFF venue, you must apply for a venue. This is optional if you are under registration type 2 or 3, also known as not booking in an official HFF venue. Sign the contract. Make sure you note the COVID liability waivers. This is the world we live in. Register your show with one of the registration levels. Be mindful which one you select. At this stage in the game, a credit card is required. So look through those shows. I recommend kind of living on that all about registration page as you're doing it to make sure that okay, yes, this is my category, double check prices, that sort of thing, because this is when you pay the monies. After that, you can purchase online ads to promote your show. These are 100% optional and can be bought at any time. It does not have to be when you register. Our site will see well over 1 million views during a festival season. And as registered participants, you will get a deeply discounted rate on those. These ads basically leave that digital impression on potential audience members. Other shows that are continually logging into the site to work on their own project pages, audience members that are looking to buy a ticket for their friend's show. Oh, that looks interesting. So these are just going to leave that impression on everybody visiting the site. Okay, down to the details of kind of that once you're registered. If you plan on streaming from an HFF venue, you are required to facilitate a booking and a contract with one of the HFF venues posted on the website. And that's again, right at the top tab, venues. You will most likely be charged rent and potentially a fee for streaming. Those venues will schedule your performances for you based on your contracted dates and times, right? Because unlike filming from your living room, there's going to be other shows participating in that venue. So the venue will handle the scheduling for you, which a lot of people prefer. For your venue, you or your venue will post to the streaming link. That will be up to the venue and how they are running their streaming service. You are responsible for pricing your performances. This is a choose your own adventure platform. You decide, normally it's about $12 is the average price, but we're living in a world where now your audience, we don't have a house capacity as far as the digital side of things. So keep that in mind. If you're planning on streaming at home or anywhere else that is not an HFF venue, you are responsible for adding your own performances in the show's admin dashboard. They must fall within HFF21 dates. And we make sure that happens. So you can't accidentally click July, and I'm one of those people who would. So it's very clear to make sure you don't do that. And this is new. And this is, if you've come on the site in the last month and noticed a page not working, this has all been updated to allow you that control from home. You are responsible for posting your own streaming link. You are also responsible for pricing your performances. That goes across the board. If you are planning a COVID-safe outdoor performance, you need to create an outdoor venue on the site. Or, and I highly recommend this, contact support. Dave is just fantastic, support@hollywoodfringe.org, and he will be able to walk you through that. Creating this venue advertises the location of your performances. You then are also responsible for adding your own performances, but in your venue's admin dashboard. So now essentially you're a participant that has a project and a venue, and you're going to schedule your performances in that venue. You also are responsible for pricing your performances. All right, for all streaming shows, I promise I'm almost done, y'all. Streaming links will be posted on your show's page as soon as you add it, but it will only be visible to those who have purchased a ticket. Streaming links will be automatically emailed to all ticketed patrons 20 minutes before the performance begins. Basically, if you give us the link and you've scheduled all your shows, we got you from there. Digital ticketing has been made super easy. Let us work for you. Ben and Dave have put in countless hours to make this process really, really streamlined. Settlement, let's talk that sweet, sweet cheddar. Like we've talked about several times now, all proceeds of tickets go directly back to you. We do not take a cut of anything. So you're going to get a settlement at the end. All tickets sold will be settled with the primary producer, the one who registered the project, within 10 days of the closure of the festival. So if you're the one who's concerned about all the things I'm talking at you right now, you are going to be the one who's settling with us. You will also have a chance to update your address before the settlement check is posted, so fear not. Yeah, that's registration. And don't worry, like I said, it's all on the site. We will also answer questions at the end with the Q&A. But for now, I'm going to take a little water break and hand it over to Ellen to talk that money.
I'm going to talk about that sweet, sweet cheddar, which I love. I love calling money cheddar. I think that's the funniest thing. And I'm so sorry. I'm going on a tangent now. So at literally every event we've done so far, cheese has been brought up. Like, it was brought up on our scholarship panel. It's been brought up in access meetings. I don't know why cheese has been on our minds so much. And both Lois and I have like lactose issues. So we both I think we're just dreaming of cheese because we don't eat it that much. Anyways, I just had to break the ice with that before we
now you all know us that much better, and us and our lactose issues.
Now we're going to start talking about dealing with money. Okay, so I'm going to go over this pretty briefly because honestly, where you're going to get your best support for this is going to be through our workshops. We have workshops hosted by people who have done this before and can give you best practices on how they broke even or even made some of that sweet, sweet cheddar. The Fringe is not about making money. It's just kind of not. That being said, it is in our best interest and yours that you have financial success as well as social, artistic, and professional success. And whatever that means to you will come to you in your budgeting. So we're going to talk really more about budgeting so that you can make those decisions about where you want to spend, where you want to save as you're preparing to embark on this journey. How much does Fringe cost? That is the question of the hour. If this was even an in-person festival or this digital space, it varies so widely, and even more so this year because there's so many options that you can do. So basically, you pay your registration fee, right? You're $175, you're $225, or if you're in person, that $275 to do those outdoor works. And all of that is going to come with its own sets of things you're going to need to budget for. If you're doing a venue, you need to budget for your venue rental. If you're doing something from home, you need to budget for what you're going to do. What is your tech setup going to look like? What are you going to rent to make sure that do you need a backdrop? What are these things going to look like for you? And if you're doing outdoor safety work, you're going to need to budget for safety and things like that are like so different. And budget is like also your time budget, right? So you have your dollar budget and then you have your time budget, and you need to use your time wisely. And I would say in your budgeting, it's very important for you to take into consideration what is worth paying for you and what is worth just going and doing it because you have that skill set, or guess what, your aunt does, or your friend, or your coworker, or your team member that's on your team knows someone who can do it on the cheap. This is the time to call in those favors to do this work so that it can be taken on a production journey after Fringe. The Fringe is about learning to produce your show. And then after that, you can bring it to a space where somebody will self-produce or will produce it for you and bring it to that next level. But this is a producer's training ground, and people have done it well, and people come year after year because they find success in this community. And we'll really learn from them about what they've done. But as somebody who's listened to a lot of them, these are some of the best practices that we have here. All right, so you've got your registration fee paid. Whoops, words. Then you're going to pay your venue rental, or you're going to figure out what you need to rent to make your production happen wherever you're streaming from. You're going to have to think about production fees on top of that. You're going to have to think about costumes. You're going to have to think about makeup. You're going to have to think about what you're going to need to have a show happen. After all of that, also insurance. Insurance is going to be something you're going to need to budget for, especially if you're not producing within a venue. You need to start to think about these things, and we're going to be there by your side explaining how other people have done it. But it is up to you to make the final decision on how you are going to do it this year. Okay. Then you're gonna think about your marketing fees. What do you want to do? Do you want to run those ads on the Fringe site? Do you want to run social media ads? Are you gonna take out an LA Times newspaper ad? I don't know if they exist, but they probably do. Are you going to make a billboard? Somebody did that once. I don't know if that would be the strongest move this year, but people do it. So what are you going to do, and how are you putting that into your budget? All right, so you've got all these things that you're starting to do, and you're like, now I got to set my ticket price because I need to know how much money I'm going to make. The average cost of tickets at the Hollywood Fringe is about $12. This is a digital space, and it's going to operate super differently than in-person work. That being said, people have been able to price their shows accordingly because because Fringe is already such a kind of lower cost ticket. It kind of is right in line with how people are pricing for their digital work. So surprise, surprise, that kind of still works across the board. $12 will be kind of your average ticket price. Once you set it above $15, a little bit of an extra service fee will check in. Just to let you know, our service fee is $2. Really big bucks there. We're not Eventbrite. We're not taking a bunch of money from your audiences. So it's $2, and it'll might go up a little bit from there after $15. Fair warning. Just wanted to let you know that, so you can think about it from your audience perspective too. You can set your prices in multiple levels. You don't have to have the same. You have a participant price that you're going to do, and like community is anybody that has a button gets $1 off your tickets. That's just like a given. Anybody that has a button gets $1 off your tickets. Then you have you have your general pricing, $1 off for anybody that has a button. But you can also set a special participant price for anybody who's a primary participant, so that they can get an even bigger discount there as well, or if they have a participant button. All right, I got that. Currency and Fringe's time and money. Show length matters. And especially here in a space where you might be renting a theater, it'll change the price of your theater, or also just like the time of your cast. Think about how much time you're having them invest. The average show at Fringe is 60 minutes long for a reason, and that will really serve you in a digital space as well. We all have Zoom fatigue, and we're going to have it as we're going through all of these digital shows, even if they're in a different setting. I love the idea that we're going to be able to watch shows from a theater because it's very different, but we just want to really think about the length of your show. Even in a world, Fringe shows that are longer tend to have more difficulty scheduling. That being said, there have been award winners who have done hour and a half or more. It is possible. You just need to really make a conscious decision about your show. And one thing that a participant always brings up on a participant that's been on a lot of panels brings up, Chris Farrow, is always like, you can make your show longer when it goes to that next step too. Also remember that Fringe is the space to try out new things. So if you are like, I want my show to go on and be like a full length show, and I'm going to do 60 minutes of it here at Fringe, or I'm going to cut it down here, but know that I still have my script longer somewhere else, cool. Or you can do the whatever length you want. It's up to you. Again, this is a choose your own adventure. We're just telling you what typically has worked for people. All right. So we're going to figure out how much money you're going to make in a night. 100% of ticket sales go back to you. So this is how you figure out how much money you make in a night. That way you can figure out how much you will make in a run, and you'll figure out how to budget from there. So you're going to take your capacity. In a digital space, I'm not good at math. I'm sorry, Lois. This might be rough. So you're in a digital space. You can do like 1,000 tickets. You're probably not going to sell 1,000 tickets. Like, let's just be real. Who do you know? Maybe you will. Maybe you have like a huge social media following that I don't know about. I don't know about that. If you have that audience, you should definitely do that and sell 1,000 tickets. That sounds amazing. I know if Ellen did a show at the Hollywood Fringe, it would not have 1,000 participants. It would probably have like 50 per night, or something like that's a very I don't even know if that's realistic. I would probably set it even lower than that because I am who I am. But basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to think about like, what's your sell through? What can you do? So think about how much you can do and then budget for like 40 to 60% of that. Because if you think you can do that, make yourself happy at the end of your run. Don't budget for what you think you can do. Budget for like half or 40% of what you think you can do. You know what I mean? Like, let's be realistic while we're setting our budgets so that you have like happy dance at the end where you're like, I made money on top of what I thought I would make. This works out. Awesome. So that's what I mean by sell through. So you're going to have like your capacity. Let's say it's 50 times like your ticket price. Say that's 12 times like 50% if you think you like that's your sell-through rate. You think you can sell 50% of 50, which would end up being 25. So you could always just do 25 if you wanted as your capacity. But I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking about it in a traditional house, like say you have a 60 seat house at your Fringe venue, you would do it this way. You would be like, I have 60 seats. I'm selling it for $12, and then I'm going to times it by 0.5, which is 50%. And that's how you're going to get your nightly gross, what you make in a night at the Fringe. Then you're going to times that by the number of performances you have, and that will be your total gross. And add into that what you're going to fundraise. Because let me tell you, the strongest way that you're going to be able to break even at Fringe is fundraising. It's calling up your aunts and uncles and friends and people that you know, posting a GoFundMe, Indiegogo. People have done merch sales. People have done parties. Obviously, you can't do that in Fringe, or like you can't do a party right now in person because like COVID, you know, but like people have done stuff like that. What could you do in a digital space to make you that money, to make some of that money back? You're gonna add all that, so you're gonna add through your nightly gross times number of performance, which is gonna be your plus your donated income, and that's gonna be like your total gross, what you're gonna make off of the Fringe. And that's where you're going to start to budget from. You're gonna be like, okay, and then after that I have X number, and that's what I can budget with. That's what I can do to see what I'm gonna make at the end of this, basically. Thumbs up if that is very okay sounding, if you kind of are on the same page. Okay, great. So you're really gonna want to fill in those gaps. If you feel like there's a gap, fill it in with fundraising, and fill it in with marketing. Figure out how to sell more tickets or something like that, but also fill it in with like some fundraising. Figure out how to set that ticket price at a sustainable way, but don't set it so high that you price out your audience too. Because you have to you're going to probably go through like 30 iterations of this where you're like, well, if I sell it at this price, I can get this many people. If I sell it at this price, I can get this many people. And you're going to find out that perfect ticketing price, that perfect, like venue rental, like how you're going to make up your venue rental, how you're going to make up the rental of a camera to be able to live stream, or any of these things through this budgeting process. Again, this is all on our supportal, and you'll be able to kind of think about this through participants who will tell you what they've done better than what I've never done a Fringe show. I have to be honest. My Fringe show has been like our workshops or things like that. So that's the only background that I have. But so we'll have some amazing Fringers who will talk to you about this at our marketing panel. That way you can figure out what to do from there and ask more specific questions. Marketing, let's talk about that for a second. We give you the tools. It's your responsibility then to fill the seats. Start today. Be like, hey, I'm on this town hall right now and people are talking to me about what I'm doing and this is my show. Like if you're doing a Q&A right now, like you sit, like when you unmute and you ask your question, you're like, hi, my name is Joanna and my show is blah, 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 blah. Like whatever your show is, like get your name out there as much as you can. It is all about getting your show name out there and making genuine connections. So it's like, not like my show is this and I am only talking about myself. It's like, make friends, talk to people, get to know them, make them want to come see their show, want to see their show. And that's how you make those like genuine friendships within the community and you get that community support of audience. Know your audience. You need to have also an audience outside of the Fringe community. What is your show about? Do you have an organization that would really flow with your show that you can add like a little like discount code? Like I know that my show deals with queer issues and I'm going to offer this to anybody at this organization, this discount code for anybody to attend. I can partner with, we've had like shows that have partnered with like businesses or like, or fundraise through that. Somebody's like undersold like they basically made their show sponsored by a restaurant. And then like every single thing that they put out about their show also advertised this restaurant because they're talking about food. And it like made their show, like they like made money off of it and they were able to support themselves through that. Like what are these things that you can do marketing wise to get people to come? So like obviously the restaurant was marketing her show and she made money off of it. Brilliant. She's on our panel from like 2019, I think, if you want to look it up for our 2019 marketing panel. She was awesome. Sophie Kahn. So then going on. So you need to know, you need to find your audience. Who's going to be how are you going to make that audience here at Fringe? And then who's your audience outside of Fringe? Moving on, You're going to talk about flyers and posters. You're going to still want a flyer or a poster digitally. Even if you don't have places that you're going to post it in Hollywood, you're still going to want that to be on your social media. We're going to have a digital Fringe Central. And if it's going to be in our digital Fringe Central, it needs to have the Hollywood Fringe logo right on it. That logo is available at hollywoodfringe.org/branding. Again, that'll go out in your emails. It's in the participant packet. You'll understand where to find it, but hollywoodfringe.org/branding is where you find our logo. Make sure it goes on your marketing, especially that poster that you're going to want to post digitally, because that will be the way that you're able to post it on our digital space to do so. Ad buys. Are you going to want to buy social media ads? Are you going to want to buy impressions on the Fringe website? You will have a deeply discounted rate to buy Fringe ads. You don't have to. Don't feel like you have to. And you can make that decision way later on. So don't feel like you have to decide about that today. So that's going to be also put into your marketing budget. There's free things to do too, guys. You can make a blog about your show. You can add 2 other blogs around Los Angeles that talk about LA theater. You can you can see, even Fringe has a blog. We have a blog that we post our stuff. It is so easy and free to have a blog to post all of your information. So that's a great way for you to be able to put information about your show. Networking. Networking is key in the Hollywood Fringe. And it's really about making those friendships and making those partnerships that'll take your show to the next level in the future. It's about not thinking about your show in the next 6 weeks and the next 6 months, about the next 6 years of your career if you want that. How are you going to work with people in the future? Do you want to work with them? Are you excited by their work? Wow, you guys have that friendship. You guys can connect. You can cross promote. You might met each other at office hours. You met each other in a breakout space in the beginning of this town hall. You guys are now best friends, and you're going to do an amazing show together next year. That is the thought about how our networking works. It's basically getting in a room with people and having a supportive environment to be able to talk to them. I am actually a very socially anxious person. And if anybody here knows me, they probably wouldn't know that. Because when I'm at Fringe, I'm like I'm like, hi, I am Ellen and I'm here to talk to you. And that's probably why I talk so fast, because I'm actually very nervous, even right now. So know that it's in your favor to be genuinely yourself, and you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. You can be like, I'm nervous, this is my first time, and this is really weird for me. Or I have a question, and we will try and answer it. The only thing you can't do is literally be a jerk or violate people's boundaries or anything like that. And that's the only rule that we have. Other than that, be 100% yourself. It will serve you. All right, I'm almost done. Press plan. You're going to want to post and send out press releases. There's how to do that in our participant packet. We're going to talk about it in a marketing panel, and it's going to be a very important part of what you do. If you don't feel like you want to do it, you can hire a press person. Most people don't, based on years of doing the marketing panel. Most people are like, I do it myself, but people have as well. And I know that there's contacts out there that work within this community. If you're like, that overwhelms me, and that's the thing I'm going to budget for, because that makes me shit my pants. That was probably not a great thing to think, but like if that makes you feel that way, then hire someone. Like, do that. Like, that's what you budget for. It's like those things that are making you like, oh, that's what you hire someone for. So know that that's also an opportunity all the time. Know your audience. Make sure that you're just constantly thinking back to that. Just like constantly remembering, who am I trying to get to? Who do I want to see my show, and why? Why do they want to see my show? Because if you don't know why, you're not going to be able to market it. You need to know the why, the how, and the where. Okay, so we're going to have more panels that talk about this in a way more eloquent way than I will ever be able to talk about this. So just letting you know, if right now you're like, I need to know this answers now, guess what? We have our past panels, that's what they're called, panels, workshops, online. We have some that were done during the digital pandemic on our Facebook Live that you can go back to. We have a full marketing panel about how to market digitally. There's some like incredible thing. I think that Marcus, you were on that panel. And so we even have one of those Fringers in the room right now. And we had such a great conversation on that panel. So please go back and look at that. You can look at like past Fringe panels, specifically about Fringe marketing from 2019, 2018, 2017. You will see the evolution of my hair from short to long. You will see that there was a different person that used to do this before me. It'll be so interesting to see that evolution happen. And now I'm going to shut up. But first, I'm going to talk about our Jamboard. We really want to know what you think. So we have this thing called a Jamboard. We're going to throw it in the chat right now. Please add your ideas to it. It's just a place for you to sticky note some of your thoughts about participating in the Fringe this year. We're going to be sharing it on social media throughout this process. So please go on our Jamboard. And now I'm going to toss it back to Lois. I'm behind schedule, sorry.
It's a part of the game. Now it really feels like Fringe, y'all. Like seeing your wonderful faces and being behind schedule. We're killing it. All right. So I realized, Ellen, that was fantastic. Something I don't know that we talked enough about, and I want to just bring everyone in. You heard buttons mentioned. If you're new to Fringe, that might be a foreign concept. The Fringe button is essentially, let's talk in the real life, where it's an actual pin that you wear on your person. And that is sort of your badge of Fringe. You are a part of the community, and passing someone on the street, even if you don't know them, they're one of us. You know, it's a part of the community. This year, we will still have the button, because the button does a lot of great things beyond just a physical presence. We won't have a physical button, but we will have that digital button. So the perks are there. With the button, you get $1 off of every show listed on the Fringe. You also get discounts at local businesses. So this is where our hotspot program comes in, which is one of my favorites, and I've been working for a long time. It's how we partner with the community, the Fringe community. Again, community all over the place, y'all. The Fringe community of artists and venues and audience is so great. We extend that beyond during the actual festival season. The businesses, the bars, the retail establishments. There's usually a list of like about 20 businesses all within that Fringe zone that participate, that give you discounts on meals, drinks, printed materials, candles. Like we've had businesses across all scopes participate. And so it's that time for 3 weeks-ish out of the year, the entire zone of Hollywood is Fringe, and they're on board with it. So that's that program. And lots more about that in future town halls and materials that we send out. Okay, so to get back to what I was planning on saying from the get-go, why do we do this? Why do we make this festival happen? It's to build a community of artists and entrepreneurs. Again, with that producers training ground, that's such an important part of the Fringe. It's not just being on stage and acting, it's becoming an entrepreneur within your work. And a city known by many as a TV and film town, this is really important to us. And theater artists have been here and producing amazing work since Los Angeles has been here. And the co-founders saw this and wanted to bring everyone together, because together we are powerful. To cross-pollinate audiences, build a new audience. Again, we've talked about this a lot. It opens up your network. And we want to see that happen, because with that entrepreneurial mission, that will continue along your career. It's to develop a culture of cooperation, supportiveness, and mutual appreciation. This is something that doesn't always exist in competitive fields like the arts. Everyone on staff has been involved in the arts in some fashion. And so we all have a personal experience where it's not always that, it's not always supportive, or you're not always appreciated. And our goal is to make sure that at Fringe it is, and it's tangible. And when that happens, it's better for everyone. Your work is able to far surpass what you thought you could do. I became a different person because of this festival. And if you really dive in and allow yourself to be comfortable, because it's a community that celebrates that, you can change your person. Everyone in the room is a player. Everyone in this room is a player and is a necessary part of the Fringe ethos. I'm going to get a little sappy, y'all, because that's what I do. I'm the one on staff who is just full of sap. I am a tree. I am not a co-founder. I walked into this festival in 2010 as a spectator and left as a part of something bigger. I personally found my home at Fringe, and I found my community, and I know we all work to continue to give that to other people, because a lot of us found that. And I want to give you full permission to do the same, to find your home here. I've said it to first-time Fringers for years, and I'm going to say it to some of you for the very first time here. Welcome to the family. You're under no obligation to feel the same, nor do you have to accept the invitation. I want you to know it's there. If you're looking for that place to build your artistry and to network with other people who you connect with, that can be this place. It's a place to be your truest self. As long as it doesn't go against our code of conduct, you're allowed to be you. And I know we live in a world where that's not always the case. Fringe it is. Weird is celebrated. Artistic vulnerability is cherished. And again, community is key. Community, community, community. If you gain nothing else, there have been shows that, like maybe I didn't make a lot of money. I see where I went wrong, but I found community. And so all of the other things aside, ticket sales and money, it's worth it if that's what you're after. And you can absolutely gain that here. To wrap it all up, we know that there are big decisions to be made, especially this year. It's a weird year, and a lot of people will be making decisions later in the game than they would otherwise. Please come to some of our upcoming events. They might help you decide. And also know, in that same essence of community, it's okay that this isn't the year for you. It doesn't make you any less a part of the community. You're not missing out. I believe that the youngins call it FOMO. You can be a part of Fringe and not dive in this year. That's 100% okay. We'll be back in full swing so soon. And we hope you will join us then. So no matter where you are in the decision process, know that the Fringe is here. If you take anything away, we are here. And we hope you'll come play. All right. Y'all, I think we are done speaking as a staff. Not far behind schedule. So we're going to take some questions. Hopefully you have them. And also know that in this weird year, we might not have the answers. And in that same way, we create a safe space. We might need the safe space to go, you know what? The guidelines haven't happened yet, or we'll get back to you, because some things we're still figuring out as well.
Marcus, do you want to go first? I see your hands raised.
Yes, I just want to say I'm glad to be back with the Hollywood Fringe community. For those who don't know me, I'm Marcus Maad Atkins. This will be my third year being a part of Hollywood Fringe, and I'm also part of Fringers Alliance that Ellen is a part of. Those who may want to be part of Fringers Alliance, I created that in 2018 when I was a newbie. Like, I don't know anybody. So I just got people who I, met. All right, come on through the inbox, Facebook inbox I created. We got like 100 people on there. So far, so good, right? So yes, marketing helps. Yes. Networking helps. Yes. So, but my question to you, I know some festivals are doing on-demand recordings. Is that something that's an option for us? Say, like, for instance, if we wanted to do something in regards to that, as far as if we've done a live show and say, like, oh no, our Wi-Fi went out, or what we're gonna do, but we have a recording of our live show. Are we able to use that as a replacement?
That is an excellent question. And no. So this is and I understand where you're coming from, certainly, and know that we've gone back and forth with all of these different options. Because yes, festivals are doing so many different things. So no, this is going to be a live stream only festival. Some background on that is to create the closest thing, especially in a TV and film town. Let's create the closest thing to live performance. But that said, we are well aware. Personally speaking, I have learned live stream this year. Like, it is a brave new world, and there are going to be hiccups. We know that. And we're going to work with you when that happens. And also, we're going to set that expectation up. This is a festival to build self-efficacy, to take risk and maybe fall down, but you're not going to fall down alone. We'll have that hotline phone number. We're going to have support. I will basically live at my desk here in a digital world to make sure that if something happens, you are not alone.
Okay.
And we have a question from YouTube. So Jennifer Dalpina asked, if I do a virtual show this year, can I do the same show next year in a theater?
Absolutely. You could do the same show at Fringe anytime. This is a non-curated festival wholly. So if you decided to do, some people have brought back their award-winning shows. So absolutely, you could still do it next year in person. You could do it outside of the Fringe. There is no limits with that.
And to that, actually, I want to add, Marcus, because you bring up such a good point. A cool thing with this digital element is that by performing in a live stream, you have a very easy setup to record. So even if not through the Fringe, and especially at a venue, this is going to be, I mean, that's the first thing I thought of while we're talking through registration types. It's like, if I was live streaming from a venue, I have a pretty badass recording of my show to then send to other festivals that are doing the on-demand setup, or that you can personally reproduce and put out there for the world.
And if you're going to want to keep that recording, just work that out with your venue. Some venues are doing their live stream, and that will be a part of a package that you might need to do, or things like that. So like, talk to your venues. And if you're, I just wanted to put that out there, and venues will let you know what they're doing with that as well. Yeah, we're in our participant packet. We do have we're going to add in some more people, but there are some lists of that type of stuff, Joanna. The question is there a place to find lists of marketing people, graphic designers, etc.? Definitely the Facebook groups. Marcus mentioned one of them. I forgot to mention. We have so many of them, and they are in our participant packet. And they're really important to join. Just like our Discord, there's spaces where you can meet these networks and be like, I need a graphic designer. Who is one? And like 5 people will comment. So that's great. I also want to shout out Canva for teaching me how to be my own marketing person. What a great app. If you are learning to make little social media graphics, Canva will be your friend. It is free.
Thank you.
And with that too, like, I just want to dive into that participant packet, because it will require, if you've done it before, or you can look at our website, like Ellen said before now, to see last year's. So similar motivation, right? All of those step-by-step, both instructions and opportunities to hire outside of your person to get a job done. This year, we have personally focused on getting a live stream contact list put together. Will there be enough for every single person to have a full-time live stream person based on this? No, but there will be options. And it'll also, even if you don't find the right option there, you'll have a better idea of what pricing you're going to likely come across when you're doing your own dive to find the right person if you want some live stream help. We will also will have live stream references. We have a video tutorial that we have gotten put together to share with participants to, like, okay, you know what? I want to live stream. I'm going to learn how to live stream. I'm going to do it big. We have a video to walk you through that. So there will be
a teching panel as well as how to tech your Fringe show, where you can ask those questions live to somebody who knows the answers, because Lois and I might not know. I am a medium tech savvy person. I can break you out into Zoom rooms, but past that, I'm like, oh. So know that we will rely on experts to answer these questions, and not just like joke that we know all the answers, which is why we're trying to be super upfront right now.
Jim Dooley asked, are there any existing outdoor venues? If so, what are they?
That is a great question. There is not. A venue could absolutely apply to become a part of the Fringe that has an outdoor space. But full disclosure, one does not exist at this time. But I do recommend, like, if you're looking for that, keep an eye on that venues tab and see if anything gets added throughout this process. And perhaps.
Ava, I see that you have a hand raised.
Yeah, thank you. I heard that you mentioned that there wouldn't be an additional fee if you do, if by August we're able to have audience members. So would that be the $175 registration if it's at a venue in the Fringe Central?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just to let you know, work it out with your venue too. Know those costs if there's going to be changes with them. I don't know, depending on like if they were planning to be a live stream only, or like just talk to your venue too to make sure that everybody is on the same page as to what that financial change will look like. From the Fringe perspective, there will be no change in registration costs. And so you'll be able to transition at that $175 rate from live stream only to even doing live stream and in person at that venue, or just in person, depending on what you and your venue decide and you and your cast think is good. And if you're like, audiences, no, you can also do that during that time period too. So no, it'll be like everything goes almost, and that you'll really want to talk to your venue though also about what their plans are, because that will vary venue to venue, just like it does in a normal Fringe year.
Thanks.
Which we have some wonderful venues here on this call. If anyone, any venues want to give a shout out, say hello, these are going to be vital resources. If you want to work in a space, your venues know so much, and they're going to be able to walk with you along this process. Does anyone want to say hey?
Go, Amber, go.
Hi. Right, I got it right before I was about to go because I have to leave. But hi, I'm Amber. I represent the Zephyr Theater. I put in the chat my email, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. But we have a lovely 74-seat house, so plenty of space if we do go hybrid for people to space out, and then if not, just plenty of space for a digital show. And then we have a lovely courtyard if we do go hybrid again. But a lot of space, so feel free to email me if you guys have any questions. And I have to go, so bye guys. Thank you, Fringe staffers.
Amber, I love that hair.
Thank you.
I know that we have another venue that's joining right now, so maybe we can let Matt.
A drum roll.
Matt, are you on the call still? Matthew? Yeah. Quinn?
Hi, Matt.
Well, Matt, you can message us if you wanna shout out. But Matt does Asylum, so we'll also be on the Fringe, hollywoodfringe.org / woof, that's a word, venues. hollywoodfringe.org / venues will be where you could find any of these venues and contact them there as well. Any other questions? Can we high five? I can't believe there's no questions right now. I don't know if this is right on anybody's screen.
That's our two-hander coming to a Fringe near you.
Alex, are there any more on the Facebook, or I mean YouTube, sorry, you used to Facebook, YouTube Live? Oh my gosh. Oh, Matt is throwing in the chat an email to talk about his venues. Matt, do you want to do a shout out right now? Are you there? Can we hear you? Oh, no audio. Okay, well, if we don't have any further questions, we are going to start to stop the live stream. If you'd like to stay, feel free to. We're going to open some breakout spaces so that people can meet each other and be able to talk just like we would after a town hall. So please feel free to start making those friendships by staying. But otherwise, we will see you really soon. And I'm going to, or no, Lois is going to make a bunch of announcements. Right, Lois? Me?
Damn, I have announcements. All right. So announcements. May 5th, meet the staff. That is, again, like we've talked a lot about that, but it's another opportunity, especially if you have a show specific question and you want to chat with us that have been deep diving into registration and what the types could include. That's a great chance to ask a very individual question with us and just get to know us. You're going to see a lot of us. We're going to hopefully see a lot of you, and we can get to know each other right from the get-go. Scholarships close on May 3rd. That is Monday at 11:59 p.m. Hop on that. Ellen has talked a lot about scholarships. Info is at hollywoodfringe.org / scholarships. And again, I said at the beginning, it was said several times throughout the middle, email support at hollywoodfringe.org with anything. Dave is amazing. He is so quick to respond, and he is one of the co-founders who's been with Fringe since the beginning. So if you have a question, he has the answer. Follow our social. It is Hollywood Fringe across all platforms, and use hashtag HFF21 because y'all, after last year, I cannot believe we're in this place. We have an HFF21. We're here. It's happening. Let's do it.
Yay! Use your supportal. I can't say it enough. I didn't know that until like 2 years ago. Use the supportal. Use your participant packet and stay fringing. Stay on if you guys want to have a little bit of a chat with some people. We'll be breaking out into spaces to have small group chats to talk about our shows.